Hello, Sins of a Solar Empire 2 esports fans. Welcome back to the 4 Power 2 Balance Tournament, Round 1 action. My name is Left Bauer. I will be casting Game 2 in this best of 3 between Rage Against the Aliens and the Hermits. If you saw Game 1 on Team Rage Against the Aliens, we have Memphis, Sa Diablo, changing it up and going to Visari Alliance this game, and Smithy Moto on Tech Enclave instead of the Tech Primacy from the game prior. On Team The Hermits, we have Cybermonkey back on the same Advent Wrath. We also have B-Intro with the game name of Tilinx on the Tech Primacy once again. This game is on Transtav. For those of you that have seen this map before, Transtav seems to be a favorite amongst this tournament grouping. I believe it's because of the long distances from home planet to home planet, so you'll probably be seeing a lot of Transtav. So Team The Hermits is up on the north side here, on the desert and the Terran. And then we have Rage Against the Aliens here on the south side, with Smithy Moto and Memphis. So, as I said before, Memphis is on the Visari Alliance. So I will have some insight as I am also a Visari Alliance player. So what we'll typically see on this map here is some strong eco play coming out of everyone to then get to about this point here, get to these asteroids here, and then by the time you're at these asteroids, you're going to start fleeting up either from the primordials, or from the ice, or the volcanic right behind, and then you're going to fight over these planets here, you're going to fight over these planets here. One thing that this planet does have that a lot of other planets, or a lot of other systems have, is this pirate base here in the middle. Now, as you can see, this pirate base kind of spins around and around this sun, and it is going to cause disruption on any planet that it gets a warplane to. As you can see, all these planets here are going to be controlled by the player. There is no Aluxians that they have to deal with. We have the Frying Frigates minor faction, which is new in the reinforcements patch, and we also have the Vitrak Transport Cabal, which gives you the remote fabrication and the jump field stabilizer. We'll see if any of our teams get up to the remote tachyon boost. This is a very, very strong ability. It gives a bonus of 75% move speed, turn rate, and acceleration to friendly ships in a gravity well, with a 1 minute cooldown, or I'm sorry, a 2 minute cooldown with a 1 minute uptime, so exceedingly strong. And then if you get all the way to 10 influence points, you have this construct phase gate ability. So instead of Visari being the only people that can get phase gates, you can get phase gates here from 10 influence points. Now these are wonderful if, let's say, you're worried about a backline planet. Maybe you can get this phase gate back on your home world and put the other one up by where your fleet is. You will notice you can only have 3 total, so it gives you a way to defend your home planet, especially because of how critical home planets are. So next we will look at some of the capital ship openers. Cybermonkey has gone with the Rapture, started with Harmony 4 and Hostility 1. Not quite spending to get to tier 2 on Harmony, but grabbing the critical upgrades like Homeworld Prophecy to get you that bonus income, getting the Commerce Integration to give you the bonus planet upgrades to go from tier 1 to tier 2 on all of the Advent planets. And then he'll be looking at getting the Volcanic and getting the Arctic Embrace, as those are the tier 1 planets that are on your second row here. Over on Tilinx, we have a Marza start, which is a change up from the previous game. A little bit more typical to start Marza on Transtav just because the map size is so large. It gives you a chance to power level your capital ships from your little enclave of planets here, and then getting into the center point. Hopefully you've got a derelict that you can grab. This is actually quite a well-defended derelict here. But that Terran will be a nice grab. For those of you familiar with Transtav, again, this has been played by many of the tournament teams here, both in this tournament and the previous tournament. The feature that you have to look out for on this one is there are 2 planets that will be moving across the gravity wells. You have this ice planet and you have this volcanic. And as you can see, oh, wrong ice planet, they will sweep around and end up into your opponent's backline if they're not paying attention. And those ships in that backline, or those planets in the backline, can allow you to get some ships in the back that can siege planets up if they're not defended, and can cause a lot of havoc to your opponents if they're not prepared for it.
Civilian research complete.
Going to Team Rage Against the Aliens, Memphis is continuing to level up here. Still sitting in Tier 1 for both Empire and Warfare. Grab the Ferric transformation. I think it's a little bit early. I know that this Ferric transformation usually doesn't need to kick in until 40 minutes on the current patch, just because this home planet, you've got so much population to grow before it does anything. I do like that he's gone maximum metal extractors here and trying to get as much as he can out of all of these planets and trying to just keep getting more and more resources. As with the Visari Alliance, you do get the starting influence, which you can see here. He's all the way up to 3 already, and that would just be from getting the emissary outreach and then the bonus 2 that you get just for being on their home planet. And then we've got Smithy Moto. He has started with the Silva this game. Currently doesn't have much of a fleet, but also 1-1, and just continuing to level up. What do we got pings on? Primordial planets. Just continuing to level up all of the necessary Tier 1 techs. Transtav is one of those slow maps, so it'll take a while until they're ready to fight. As with Game 1, both of these teams have agreed to use the ancient starbases again. You can see here that there is an ancient starbase on this asteroid, which might make quite a significant spot to defend from. There's another ancient starbase here on this asteroid, and I believe that's it. Yes, that seems to be it. Is there one on the sun? There is not. So just a reminder how ancient starbases work. Who am I on? Smithy. So they come in with the Tachyon Lance weapon system, the 3-phase cannons with significant pierce that can help kill capital ships, the heavy particle cannons that'll help kill off the cruisers and frigates, and then the point defense beams that help with dealing with anything missile related or anything fighter bomber related. It is quite heavily defended here with the 4 Harkas and the 8 Javelises and the 9 Cobalts. So we'll see what kind of fleets can be put together to take care of those. Looking at the progress of our teams, Cybermonkey's already up through to his primordial and continuing to push on. Tilinx looks to be a little behind on research, because while they get Tilinx has gotten the extra ice planet that goes across the map here, looks like a little bit behind on the civilian research and is going to be late getting the primordial research once his fleet comes here. Memphis is well into his research here. Does he have primordial done? He does. Primordial is a tier 1 planet for the Visari, whereas I believe for the rest of them, it's a tier 2 for everybody else except the Visari. So Visari get some nice perks at tier 1. They can touch the Primordial Planet research before anybody else can. And then they also have the crystalline planets available at tier 1. If I remember correctly, most of these factions get kind of unique researches. Where is it? Primordial. I'm not a tech player. I don't know what's in the tech. Advent gets the crystalline in tier 2, and I don't believe there is one on this map, so we'll not spend too much time on it. But Cybermonkey continuing to move forward, starting to fleet up a little bit here with 16 disciples, and then has used the Rapture to catch one Garda, and looks to be it so far. Tillinks at 145 supply, looks to be continuing in teching. I think doing a great job grabbing this frigate shield refit pretty early on. This one will give you a nice little bump to all of your corvettes, or I'm sorry, all of your frigates. Those shields are not something to scoff at, and so getting those early on can be a good thing. All right, Memphis. What do we got here, this Memphis? So, still missing captive suppliers, but I also think missing both of the structures that can build either frigates and cruisers or capital ships. I think that's probably going to be a mistake, because for those that don't play Visari, you do start with 2 of each of the tier 1 exotics between the Tauronite, Endurium, Kalinite, and Anvar. So it allows you to do some interesting things with your ships. You can either go early into the Vitra weapons lab to use a Tauronite, which would just immediately bump him up to 7 research points on warfare. So I think that would be good. And we see missing culture, missing intercultural exchange. I think those are also mistakes, because you can get an intercultural exchange on all 4 of these planets very quickly, and getting credits on the Visari when the credits really only come into 1 research, and that's down here, and I want to say it's all for 1. Can't see it yet because I'm not in the tier, but there's only 1 research that actually costs crystals. It might be armor restoration, where this one in particular does cost credits. I think everything else in every part of the tech tree is just metal and crystal. So I think it's a mistake, in my opinion, to not tech up to these increases, especially because they're so strong and you get so much time to eco in these games that I think it would be a mistake to not have it. We'll take a look at Smithy Moto, continuing to level up the planets he does own, and then continuing to do the research station in the trade ports as done in the last game. Has not used any of the influence points that he has gained, and it looks like Memphis has gone for the pirates for boarding crew. Now, boarding crews is a very, very strong item in this map, specifically because you can use this to grab ships. Harkas and Javelises early game on this map are exceedingly strong, so it would be nice to see Memphis grab this. And I know because he's right next to this ancient starbase, there are 4 Harkas here for grabs, and the last thing you want to see someone do is sit on influence. It looks like that's what they have done. Yep, excellent job grabbing that. Grab the heavy cruisers off this ancient starbase. It makes it stronger for you to clear through the NPCs that are on the starbase, and then 2, it gives you an exceedingly strong cruiser early game that not many of the frigates can match. Now, we do see that this asteroid is getting raided by pirates, so Memphis is having to manage fighting them here, And it looks like a lot of pulse defense guns are going up along with the defensive uplink. So the defensive uplink, for those that don't know, is a Visari planet item available on every planet in the game. And it's one of the few defensive ones you can get early. It does cost a Endurium to place it, but it gives you 12% bonus weapon damage and 12% range on all of your structures that you put on a planet. So as you can see here, Memphis is putting up 16 pulse gun turrets immediately on the phase lanes, so whenever anything jumps in, these are going to start shooting at them. I would like to see Memphis continue to tier up on either the Empire or the Warfare, and if you're going to go into Empire, grab that phase jump inhibitor so that it forces the enemies to fight in your phase guns.
Auction is underway.
Yep, he's able to kill scouts before they get by, and they're not even all the way built yet.
Civilian structure complete.
So we do see Cyber Monkey continuing to push up, and it looks like Tillings is going for this Terran. Now, I will say that it's probably a little bit of bad luck that the two tier 3 planets that are sitting in the middle of the map are properly placed so that we have a Terran planet directly in the path of Tillings here, who doesn't need any bonus research to be able to colonize this. And there's a desert planet directly in the path of Cyber Monkey, where he also doesn't have to tech anything up to get it. Whereas if you're on Mephis's on Visari, you need a tier 2 just to capture this, and you need a tier 2 to capture either one of these. And then on Smithy, it would be Ferris is all the way out in tier 3, but then because also Tech could have also grabbed it. Now we do see a very significant defense fleet here, and a very, very strong defense here on the Derelict. Now this is a strong Derelict, so I expect Tillings to be able to capture it. Just might take some losses in the process of doing so. And we do see Memphis going for this asteroid. I believe he did capture it, because Smithy hasn't been over here yet. His fleet's still coming in. So he did capture it and traded it to his teammate. So this is now Smithy's. Now it'd be interesting if they were able to capture the ancient starbase. Would love to see Memphis move into the range of this to capture it, and then use the starbase to clear out all of the NPCs that are here. But not using the boarding crew, even though it's on his capital ship. Would also love to see him excuse me, steal some of these Harkas just to buff to his fleet. Now he is okay, good. Just started fleeting up. Does have 10 Canrack assailants on the way and some wardens on the way. And if I recall correctly from my notes, grabbed 4 nano factories right here on this primordial planet, but needs to finish researching his ships to do so. Alright, so Tillings is continuing to take this Terran. Hopefully not taking too many losses. Cyber Monkey has now captured the desert and looks to be grabbing a bunch of exotics. What do we got going on here? So, it does have telepathic signaling to get more fleet supply. Starting to go into Guardians. Grabbing the starting experience for capital ships, which probably makes sense. They grabbed a bunch of capitals, exotics, and then getting to level 2 immediately when a capital ship pops out. So grabbing that pretty early on. And then personally, I think the Unity Protectorate is a little bit underutilized. It's a very good defensive item for Advent, and probably a good one. Team the Hermits can kind of just sit on their lead at the moment, because they've got all 3 planets on this side here. Kind of grabbed this planet, which was not supposed to be theirs, and this asteroid also happens to have a starbase, but they don't need to really grab that one either. Now I do want to check something.
Hostility research complete.
Alright, how is Tillinks gonna get there? So Tillinks either has to capture this ancient starbase or fight through it. Curious to see how that's gonna work out. But what do we have here? We have Cyber Monkey continuing to fleet up. Guardians on the way in. Now into tier 3 military at 32 minutes with a pretty solid income. Has done almost as many of these researches on the economy as you can do at this point. Has the 10th Sanctum. Would like to see the Sanctum placed somewhere to get that extra credit income. But using the forward desert planet as the factory staging and the greater factory staging. So once into tier 3, it looks like a Vigilus play. Tillinks is also going to be going into tier 3 once some of these military points are done. Let's see if we can guess what play. So it has the Caliph, is starting to tech them up. Memphis is also starting to fleet up. We have 20 Canracks, 13 Wardens, looks like 7 more. And a lot of research is going on at the same time. I'm going to voice my opinion on this one. I don't like to see so many researches all in a row because those are lost opportunity costs for being able to build fleet. Now it looks like there is enough money available to continuously build 18 Wardens, so there is money available. As you can see here, did a wonderful job getting these extractors, so should not be feeling money poor in any way. Would have liked to have seen the intercultural exchanges and some culture on the available planets that you can put it on, just to get even just more income while you continue to work here. Now it does look like Smithy is going to kind of use this garrison to turtle up. Also owns the ancient starbase now and a significant number of turrets. I'd like to see the turrets placed in a little bit, rotated into the phase lane a little bit more, just to guard against that. Going into tier 2, as we said, grabbing Garrison Expansion 2. Garrison Expansion 2 I think is a pretty strong tech, but Heavy Garrison is the most important. Now, and I do see, is Memphis going for exotics? Has not gone for exotics yet. It would be nice to see these 2 heavy exotics, or for the Endurium, to get the heavy garrison up. Heavy garrison can be exceedingly strong, especially if you have Harka or Javelus unlocked, and one or the other. So if you unlock just Harka and you have heavy factories on a planet that has garrison up, you will only produce Harkas. Same thing with Javeluses. If you only research Javelus and it's your only available cruiser, those heavy factories are just going to pump out just Javeluses. So it would be nice to see him get the Endurium to do that and then avoid having all of these ships. I did talk about it in game 1. The way that Garrison works is it only produces ships that you have available, especially at tier 1. So you can see here there are 2 light factories, which means you're only going to be able to build right here, and so these frigates and these 2 corvettes. Cobalts are kind of okay in the right mix. Gardas, as we can see here, do not have the Garda Mark II upgrade, so would like to see some more Gardas. Gardas are fine, but would like to see Mark II, and then Caleb's. So we don't see any Caleb's out yet. We also don't see the research. Stillets are also exceedingly strong, so would like to see that as well. Alright, let's see what we got going on. So now that we've got Cyber Monkey sitting on a lot of exotics, I think that Team The Hermits is quite happy with the location of this game. They are now sitting on 2 tier 3 planets in the middle of this map. They have culture across their entire back line. Excuse me. And are just going to continue to level up. And also now owns this level, owns the starbase and has a level 6 Marza. Now I did note the skill levels, or the skill choices on this Marza. We have 1 in concussion charge. I think most tech players would typically go max levels into concussion charge for a longer stun duration. I believe it's a shorter cooldown if you level it up. Can I check that? I'm not a tech player. I think I've talked about that. Yeah, I can't check it. But you go 3 levels into concussion charge. You kind of skip precision training, and you just go into raised planet and then missile barrage as soon as you can get it. All right, looks like we're at a stalemate here. So we'll look real quick at the fleet supplies. So Tillings is deciding to go into the Harkas. Has 1, 2, 3 capital ships available in the Cole, the Akon, and the Marza. Did grab the pirates to start the game, and has now gone into 16 Calebs and 40 Garda flak frigates, which is quite significant. I do like that he's got the Garda Mark II. I think that that's exceedingly strong, so would like to see more. Is he sending his fleets in? He is trying to send his fleets in, and these Gardas have gone around it right in. So here's our first contact of the game. These Gardas are in the map now, and it looks like they are just going to die to this turret line. Did any of them get out? Nope. They all died. So these 16 pulse turrets have now proved their worth pretty much, and proved their cost. And it does look like we had a defensive movement of the ships from this enclave. So Tillings is at 772. We have Cyber Monkey at almost 700. It looks like he's also gone 3 capitals with Radiance, Rapture, and Halcyon. What levels are these? Did we look at these yet? 5, 2, and 3. So where is... So he's got 1 and 2 energy absorptive armor. None in animosity. I would have liked to have seen 1 point in animosity to help take some of the frigate damage off of other things. And then 2 points into the detonate antimatter for the capital ships.
Exotics have been unveiled by our scryers.
And then we'll look at Memphis. Memphis has almost 400 supply. Looks like just the Jerusalem evacuator. Would love to have seen a couple more capital ships come out. I think it's a mistake to not have these capital ships, especially with all the exotics that you have on your ships here. It's got a significant number of exotics. So it looks like we might have a fight here. So we're fighting directly into the turret line. Smithy is quite heavily into research and is definitely missing provisioning doctrine. But here we go. We've got our first fight. And looks like a bunch of disciples getting ready to fight into this turret line here. So I'm wondering if that was a misclick. Alright, and then now we see Tillix joining the fight. And it looks like a massive Gardas. And these turrets are going to do some significant damage. These Cobalts are going down exceedingly fast. These Harkas are going to kill off the Wardens. Do we see any capital damage? We do see the Jerusalem evacuator being focus fired here by Cyber Monkey. Is it Cyber Monkey? No, it's Tillix. Tillix is killing it. We see a missile barrage come out, and it's evaporating all of these Canrack assailants. So now we see 24 kills on this Marza. This Marza is proving its worth already by itself. Radiation bomb coming out from the Marza, doing significant damage here to these frigates. And we see now these turrets have done a lot of damage, but for those that do know this, turrets, you can skip over turrets. You don't have to fight into them, especially if there's no phase jump inhibitor anywhere nearby. Alright, we do see Memphis and Smithy retreating, probably going back to this ancient starbase. and it looks like Smithy's trying to upgrade it with extra damage, but is waiting for exotics and can't build it without them. So we do see the chase in here from Tillix, and there's not enough here. There's only a couple of ships. All these cruisers, all these frigates, and these 2 capital ships are going to die pretty quickly. Alright, we see frigates going down. Capital ships starting to get focus fired. Looks like he's shooting at... Which one's he going after? He's going after the Marza. The Marza is going to retreat into the safety of this ancient starbase. Now we'll see how many kills this can get. It's already got 2. And it's starting to blast anything it can reach. All these Calebs are taking damage. All these capital ships are taking damage. But we do see that Tillix is wisely moving his ships into range of the starbase, which means that I believe he can start capturing it as soon as these ships are killed off on the side of Smithy. The starbase continuing to get kills though, 20 kills. Alright, he's killed off the 1. Who owns this? Still Smithy's. Planet is still Smithy's. Would love to see what's going on with Smithy. Smithy needs to start fleeting up more. He's missing some fleet. Memphis needs to fleet up more. He's got the resources to do it. Another missile barrage comes out, kills off all of the Canrex on the back line. We lose the capital ship, and the starbase is taken over by Tillix. So that will pretty much seal the deal. There's no fleet left available for Smithy or Memphis. They're both under 100. So I don't think that there's anything left. And we see 800 supply in Cybermonkey and almost 900 here on Tillix. And it's just not going well for Team Rage Against the Aliens. So I think that's going to be the dagger. We're looking at a little bit longer in this game, but there's not much left. And I think this is just waiting until it gets pushed over. So all of these factories are dying here. All of the ships that come out with the garrison were killed in that first engagement because they all went over to this asteroid here. And it looks like ships are going to continue to die through the turret line. But I think it's far too late at this point. Tillix sitting on the wealth of a nation. Cybermonkey sitting on enough to replace every ship in his fleet. And we do see a GG call. So that will be game, and that'll be game 2 in favor of Team the Hermits. So this series ends with a 2-0 for the Hermits and a 2 games lost for Rage Against the Aliens. So we'll see you back at the next game, and hope you enjoyed the casting.